Hello Commanders, and welcome back to my tutorial series that will show you how to build and trap an AFK Stonewood Endurance here in Fortnite Save the World. And for this episode, we are going now to our final amplifier in the field amp. Also want to point out that you could have placed up on the hill or down in the mine, but my recommendation without question would be right here in the field. So, for our episode, we will begin with preparation for your west attack, and it will tie into the previous episode when we spoke about your drop amp and prepared it for the south attack. And as such, let's work our way down here off of those builds that I left behind that are facing from west to east. And this will begin this amplifier. Everything else was for the previous amp. Now, I want to walk right up here. And we're going to go 1 and 2, 3 into the 4. And then right up above, 4 ceilings. And then you have a 5th out here. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. Temporarily, I'm going to put some floors down so we can work around the environment for a moment. And then off of the builds that we had here, 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then a matching ceiling over here. All right, this comes down. Then what you want to do is we'll extend an additional piece here, and out here. Just like this. No ceiling necessary, though, in this case, unless you absolutely want it. This would be an additive or extra. I guess we'll just place it. I could see it having use for us. And then, of course, this ceiling over here. All right, so let's go back. Remember, the floors are temporary, but we're just going to continue to put those so I can upgrade. All right, let's get this all to our tier 3. And just like all of this right here. Now, you will have any potential over here. All right. So when it comes to those husks, you have a choice here. Now, what I like to do is I just go ahead and seal this down like I'm showing you, the ceiling above, and then extend an additional tile right over here. But I do not trap for this. I just let them drop down. I don't really have issues otherwise with it, so we don't need to cover that. And again, everything at tier 3. Important little area that you don't want to overlook. Same thing with everything else that I've shown here. Now, we will go with wall darts first. And our front to back is going to be east to west. So that would be our 1 reload or primary wall dart. And then side to side would be the 2 reload dart or your stagger or secondary. So here and here. Here, here, and here with your 1 reload. And then for all of these terrain areas and for coverage, here and here, but not over in that corner. So that covers your darts. Now these can go out and away. Don't need them anymore. And then you have to decide here. This is a playstyle choice now. All right. You can either run ceiling drop traps down and let your darts work against the enemies. And then they would play for anything that was down over here. All right. But what I like to do is these two tiles right here. I will go with a primary, 1 reload electric field, and then a secondary or stagger no reload right here. And for the rest of these tiles would be sealing drop traps for me as we're working through and around. So as I've gone through in the series, we have a primary 1 reload sealing drop trap. Over my back shoulder, skip a tile, and then we'll start working these on down every other tile, just like that. And then we'll skip, and the same thing would apply out here. And again, this is an optional little area right here if you want just a little extra when it comes to your build. I will let you choose that because it would be important for you. On playstyle choice, that is. And then other than that, though, we will go with our 2 reload now, or stagger. And then fill in our remaining tiles like this right here. Another reason that you want electric field is your 1, 2, and 3 here. This is actually a little lower, it won't play. And I don't really like 3 with sealing electric fields anyway. A lot of the little guys will get through there, and it's okay theoretically because then your trap is focusing on big ticket items, but I just don't like how it plays. So I let it be. Okay. So this would cover your area, and it connects everything as you are working up here to the west. Now you will have spawns and hotspots, all kinds of stuff that lifts all of your wall. Don't put anything here or over here. And even at times, sometimes this one and this will go. And then sometimes this goes out in the previous build because of the hotspot. It's kind of nasty when it comes to your hotspots. Then we will work up to this area here. And it is interesting right here. And I like to provide a choice to you. Now, you could go ahead and extend here. Because in the end, ultimately, you want to, but what the problem is you do have a spawn right here. All right. So this wall will work. Just like this here. But otherwise, we would take and wrap this around. And you are sealing this down and walking up to this area right here. You will have a hotspot situation and other things to think about and to be concerned about in the future when it comes to up in this area, but we'll just take 3 ceilings just like that, and then you kind of connect everything. All right. But if you want to save tiles here, and this is important, I'm giving you 2 options here, right, because you are too high. If you would like to save the tiles, when it comes to this, and that, you can just extend, come across like this, and then you could seal it all down. All right, so you just get rid. Let's call it more so if you want to position your tiles differently, because you're really not getting much of a savings there. And then everything gets tiered up to 3 here. And then you work out this way. It's an interesting little area here. You have your torn apart that can lift structures, actually. And it can be quite annoying when that happens. So we do want to be mindful of it and play off of it. And then these would all just be the tier again, and you just seal all this down and make sure it's all at tier 3. You can leave this for an access point in here if you'd like. But again, if you would rather utilize down here in this area some electric fields for a reason, right? You can go with that. But you will have a spawn here, so I like it starting here at least that higher elevation. And this, again, will play for you. And then we already have the dart here. I will tell you that I sneak a dart into this area here. And you can actually wrap here and here as well. Nothing here, though. Nothing here. No extensions back here. You know, truly, like, no, like, build here. Right, where you wrap around, you're just wasting your time. Don't even place it. It does not work here. Same thing out here. It doesn't work. Hotspot. Right on this floor, I have this here. As they work up, nothing here except for we wrap into there. And then out here, I want that we're looking at. You can go with your ceilings up here. I don't recommend anything over here until your amplifier. You're going to have some hotspot stuff happening out here. All right, so we don't want that. But everything else that we've got is great. Up you go to this point here, and then go with that. Just make sure everything is tier 3 once again. Now, your darts front to back, I would run darts all through here, here, and right there. This goes away. Now, you would have to determine once again if you want electric fields or ceiling drop traps or whatever it is that you want to run here. This would be a playstyle choice because they are all at your 3 or more tiles. I like a ceiling drop trap option here with your primary right here. But believe it or not, all the extra here, you can get some good play with an electric field right there. And then, of course, over here on this angle, I like to push back with that same trap, skipping a tile, straight back. But here, I like a primary electric field. Your darts would come in here, front to back, 1 reload. And then you would have a 2 reload over here. And this will be in case you are to force the enemies off the edge here and down. You'll have another scenario here like we've had on the previous app with propane. If you try to put things here, they typically get removed, so I don't put them. All right. Right here, and as they work up, okay, nothing here. But right here, I like that tile. Nothing down here, though. This would be a wall launcher. 3 impact, 2 reload. Your wooden floor spike. And I do like the pyramid over the stair because the stair gets a little funny when you don't connect it. And this gets blown up anyway, so I don't put it. But if you put this stair piece instead of the edited pyramid, you can have some, you know, it's just not as smooth there. And then right in here would be that primary wall lights that we discussed last time. And again, if you're having trouble placing it, just go ahead and remove the wall down to tier 1, place it in, and then you go back right here. And make sure everything is at tier 3. And then across this way, you have a 2 reload dart that will shoot over at 1, 2, into the 3. And believe it or not, that could strike as they go across and you push them. This here would be your 1 reload dart, and this here is your other dart, 2 reload. Okay. Now, Theoretically, though, when we come back in, this piece here is more for this build, so I'll leave it for now. We'll come talk about that again in the future. Then you have this area. I've already covered the amplifier in depth. And I will tell you that you're going to come up this way here, and you're going to build. Let's go ahead and break this down. Reminder, anything that you take down from your endurance before an active run is gone forever. So please be mindful of that when you are working. And then this will work across here, and then straight out to this point here. Your anchor point would be here, a second one here. Believe it or not, you could run a third here, but I don't like to. I like the anti-airs here to play. You're going to have some propane being thrown in smashers charging and things of that nature potentially. And then this all gets upgraded. And we'll just face it towards the amplifier because it's going to be utilized for both builds. You're going to have a lot of hotspot stuff and that up in here where you just don't really need much more. But do put these. Now, torn apart is not supposed to remove your traps, but it can remove your structures. So again, if you do your testing and you notice that this falls even with 2 anchor points that I already have for you, right? You can also anchor here if you wish. That's not a bad thing. Maybe middle center here to give yourself an anchor. I think we will for safety. Okay. Do an anchor there, and then we will go middle center anchor here on our next build. Give yourself, but keep this open because I want you to have that anti-air in case propane gets thrown up in there. And then this all gets tiered up as well. And then this is an interesting area. It really does ultimately come down to what you want to do. Now, I will tell you, as I mentioned, you do have a scenario here where you're going to have some smashers coming in. You're going to have mini bosses in here. Smashers are going to try to charge potentially at you. Propane is going to stop and explode. I used to have a pattern that I would run here with darts. I don't run it anymore. A lot of propane. I let it go. Right, and then you'll have a thing here that blows your builds up anyway. So I just take the darts over here, and it's 1, 2, and 3 as they come through. And again, some are saying 4 these days, but I still call it 3. The 4 isn't consistent enough. All right. And then you've got this final area here, and you can really do what you want with it. I like electric fields, though, to be very honest with you. I just run electric fields. And you would do the alternating option here. All right. 1 reload. Boom, boom. And just skipping your tiles on the way in. And then you come back in with your no reload or the stagger option or your secondary, however you want to call it. All are fine, honestly. Just like this right here. All right. And then you come back out here into the field. And you remember what you had last time, which I do. Right. And then you start working, because you don't have this trap anyway. You just start skipping. Like this. And then get your other option going here. Like this. These different reloads provide you a little bit more balance and consistency. You can get a little bit of damage mixed in there, plus a little extra and faster reload. So it just works a bit better. Now, off of this here, in this lane, I chose to go, or I'm going to choose ceiling drop traps here. So I would go. And you need to count now. Right? 1, 2, and 3 down. So theoretically, when they come up here, this one could fire. I actually do not put a trap on this. too close for me on it. So instead, I'll do one of them just straight back over my shoulder, and then the other one would go back over this way. Or you could really throw them back this way and just kind of spread this out and open. Again, don't build anything down in here. It's not going to last for you. All right, now up here, you'll have a spawn. So I would go again with my electric fields. And you can kind of see which one I had there, right? So that was the primary. So we'll skip this tile, come here. And then again, you could get some fire here, you know, off the back side. I just don't mess with it. I will tell you there's a chance that this could fall as well, but I still do include it, and it tends to be there more so than not. So I don't want you to overlook it. And then again, we have our optional or our secondary here and here. That's going to be a primary over my shoulder or a tire again. You just have to see as they work up, right? That's a really nice tire play. So I'd continue that pattern, and I'd go over my shoulder here with the 2 reload and just force them over here. Again, don't build anything else. And this over here, this dart, is a 2 reloads side to side dart. Okay. And this will be your build for your Flex Field Amp preparing for the West attack.